Welcome back to Blockcast Show. Today we have an amazing guest from Abu Dhabi, Andrey Lazorenko, the CEO of ADI Foundation that is building key blockchain infrastructure in the region with a suite of products, in particular with a Dirham stablecoin that's licensed and approved by the Central Bank of the UAE, hosted by the ADI chain and backed by the key stakeholders of the region. You will also hear about Andrey's leadership, career, and experience. Today you're going to have a blast and enjoy the show. Welcome back to Blockcast Show. My name is Anton Golub. I'm here together with my co-host, Dr. Demetrios Zamboglou. So Andrey, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you on Blockcast Show, Blockcast podcast. Very exciting, I think, today because of the organization that you're representing, of the work that you're doing for the country, for the region and globally. So I think we're really going to have a blast. And Demetrios,
Stablecoins is a very, very hot issue, especially in the region. So getting an expert with us in the studio makes us very happy, and we look forward for this conversation with you.
So welcome,
Anton, Demetrios, thank you for inviting me. I think we will have very interesting conversation.
Awesome, And to start off then very strong, your organization, ADI Foundation, I think has created a lot of positive buzz. A lot of people are talking about your work, the goals that you're trying to achieve, the vision. So maybe I'm sure many people in the audience know already about the ADI Foundation, but for those who are for the first time hearing about it, can you tell us a little bit about your organization? What's the vision? What is the work that you're working on? And then we can dive deeper into topics.
Okay.
Please.
So, ADI is a fully independent Web3 foundation established in Abu Dhabi, and we are promoting Abu Dhabi as the region where you should build the business from. Yes. Very open, transparent, convenient location to build the businesses from. Yeah. In ADI, we're building the ADI blockchain with ADI tech framework, which is based on EVML2 with the ZK proofs for privacy, security, and scalability. So we're building the modular blockchain in order to create the most friendly, to integrate, to partner up, to build on top on blockchain ecosystem in the world. And our mission is to empower and to onboard to Web3 1 billion people by 2030. With saying that, that's everything that drives us forward in order to identify our priorities, products, how we build our protocol, how we scale it, and how we architect it.
Awesome. Maybe then also to dive a little bit deeper, you mentioned something that I'm sure the people on the technical side might understand. So a ZK blockchain, a layer 2, if I understand it. So can you explain, like, for the audience, like, what does it mean? Because you mentioned privacy, scalability, efficiency. How does technology like ZK or zero knowledge proofs, right, as a background for blockchain, how does then that translate into privacy, security, scalability? Can you explain, like, how does that come about?
Yeah, so in general, we are building the blockchain where we are aiming to design a next generation infrastructure to empower global finance markets, corporate markets, governments, like many sectors. For this, we've chosen the most right approach is the modularity, where we're building the chain with the huge possibilities to create the custom subchains, whether for the horizontal scaling or for the vertical scaling, in order to be custom with all the approaches of each country, enterprise, product, whether it's retail or corporate, in order to create the best tech suite for them and service and cater what they're looking for with our technology. We do believe that the technology is the vehicle for you to deliver something. That's why we are trying to be use case driven rather than technology driven, and adjusting technology for the needs of those use cases. So saying,
I was going to ask you, is it possible for the audience to explain what is the difference between L1 and L2 for people to understand a little bit more in depth these topics?
Yeah. Okay. So layer 1 blockchain, it's the the deepest layer of infrastructure chain, where you should ensure like the privacy on the programmable level of the layer 1. L2, it's like the chain on top of layer 1, where you can ensure more efficiency, customizations, business needs, and so on and so forth. But our choice was that we would like to follow the strategy of this country in particular. So what I think, why the Emirates became so successful in all those 20, 30 years of growth. And these supreme growth rates are the reflection of mission of the country and the way how it transforms. So the values of the UAE has always been, due to my opinion, my observation, that the country is built for the people as the best in class service wing, so to say.
Yes.
So they're aiming to create the best business environment, the best infrastructure, the best services, taxation regimes, immigration policies. So like everything you need to come and build and not to be distracted on, I would say, overhead activities. With these values, we're building the ADI. That's why we chose the most secure layer currently there is on the market, due to our opinion, which is EVM, Ethereum Virtual Machine, and the supreme security that it gets from the historical track record of years of scaling of the layer. And we're building our blockchain on top of it. That's the layer 2. So we're utilizing the what the market already has. I do see that 90% of meaningful Web3 businesses are building on top of ETH. So for them to invite them to live on our chain and to build on our chain, it makes much more sense to build the EVM from the get-go. Instead of them forcing them to migrate from their infrastructure to our some new supreme, also could be like best in class, but for them it will take an effort. So to avoid those complicated steps for the builders that we would love to invite to build an ADI and utilize the benefits of ADI chain, we're building this and that setup.
Okay. And as you're deploying your product, the L2, can you share a little bit like who would be initially the target partners or the target users? Would it be more corporates, enterprises, banks maybe, or the end users? How do you see this vision for your blockchain?
So I think currently we're in a very exciting timeline when the Web3 adoption has started. We've seen many players trying to scale it prior to that, but there were sometimes technology wasn't ready, sometimes the market wasn't ready, sometimes the market sentiment wasn't ready. Currently we think that everything we see that lines up. And we're building ADI out of Abu Dhabi, the most transparent region, and based on what we see, I think that over the next decade, the most innovations will happen exactly in this region. And that's why we position ourselves in order to propagate the technology out from here. So coming to our use cases and our audience, ADI is founded by Sirius International Holding, which is part of IHC, the biggest holding company of UAE. And we are utilizing our partnership networks in order to create the meaningful use cases for the outreach of the group, outreach of our past expertise, and based on our, we have amazing team. So in ADI, I'm really proud to say that that's probably one of the best teams I have had the chance to work with. And we're scaling not only corporate or government use cases, we're scaling much more. So we have a few verticals we're focused on. And that's where we're growing.
I wanted to ask you is, since you talked about the team and every great leader talks nicely about his or her team, how did you manage to convince the talent to come to Abu Dhabi, or you recruited from the region?
Like currently, there is a shortage of really good talent, I think. That's why the organization, I find it more and more common when organization tries to adopt to the requirements of the talent. So the team that we have in ADI is a blend of everything, similar to how this country was built. So it's the best talent out of everywhere. We have team members from this region. We have team members from Europe, States, Africa, Asia, and this is a blend of the best talent that came here to Abu Dhabi to share our mission, share our values, and become a team in order to bring this mission to life and build ADI.
Awesome. And can I ask you, so ADI under your leadership, is it more like a startup? So do people come more like relaxed in flip-flops, you know, like you see in the movies in Silicon Valley? Is it more with the suit and the tie? I mean, I see that you're more dynamic, youthful, but how is it? You have a big responsibility. You have big goals for your organization. Talent is global. Talent has different profile or different personalities. So how is it, to work at the ADI Foundation from, your positive, optimistic perspective?
A good question. Thank you so much. So talent is cross-cultural, and we are unifying them under the umbrella of the culture of the ADI Foundation and ADI ecosystem. And as the team will be growing, we will propagate our culture and our values and vision to all the team members and contributors and builders around. So answering whether we're a startup or a corporate, I would say that we're trying to collect the best out of the worlds and trying to be like a balancer in order to cater everyone who comes to ADI.
Yeah. Maybe then to go towards a bit of a tangent question. Also as well, the first time when I heard actually about ADI Foundation was also within the context of a product that's very exciting now, not just in the region, but in the globally, and these are the stablecoins. So I think like one of the first proven use case that we have in the crypto industry, which is maybe beyond this small crypto ecosystem, is stablecoins, because this can be used for payments in everyday life, cross-border transfers, but also in financial services. So can you share a little bit more, like what are your plans there? What is
also in global compliance systems.
So can you tell us a bit more about the exciting work that you see, that you're doing on the stablecoin side, and also maybe your thoughts a little bit like how does the AD stablecoin in general is positioned globally?
Indeed, we're currently on the move preparing first initial deployments on the first use cases, and we'll be sharing them gradually with you and with everyone over time. Probably one of the first use cases would be the digital Dirham stablecoin. So we have received the principal approval from the Central Bank of United Arab Emirates.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. To create deploy and put on ADI rails the stablecoin backed by Dirham, which will be the first stablecoin that will be truly scaled around the globe, will be pegged to the Dirham. So historically, we've seen that the most successful stablecoins are the ones that are correlates to the USD, and I think that there is plenty of room to one more, like truly big stablecoin, and by the number of advantages, we do think that will be the Dirham-backed stablecoin.
Okay. And maybe just to ask you is because Dirham is actually pegged to the dollar, right? So do you see actually that there's going to be a lot of liquidity, a lot of transfers initially or maybe later on between a digital Dirham and maybe some of the popular stable coins that we see in the crypto industry? Or you see this more as a gradual process that AD is going to be opened up to other stablecoins?
First of all, I'm a huge supporter of collaboration. And I do believe that collaboration rules the world rather than competition. And in the world where there is so much fractional markets, fractional liquidities, and so on, this unification of liquidity and unification of the markets, that's really the trend. That's where everything is going. And that's what we spectate for the last years. Yes. And the Web3 technology is inevitable part, actually, of all this global transformation. Yeah. Coming to the stablecoins, we, as I said in the beginning of our conversation, we're a demand-driven foundation rather than technology-driven. Technology we use as supportive to cater the demand. So we already do see huge demand for the Dirham-backed stablecoin in various use cases, in various regions, starting from Africa, Central Asia, Southeast Asia, whether it's cross-border payments, retail payments, whether it's more complicated financial products that can be created with the pairs of USD stablecoins and Dirham-backed stablecoins. So all these use cases, it would be just, we could create separate interview for this in order to go through. Yeah. But since we're going from the demand, we're very convinced that we'll be able to scale it pretty fast.
Okay. I want to ask you, but I'm not sure you will be able to answer. When do you see the first AED digital transfer happening in your network? A real example. Do you see it in the next 2 months, in the next 3 months, by the end of the year? When do you see this actually happening?
The stablecoin is founded by, as you would see in the announcements, by probably 3 largest entities of this region, by ADQ, HC, and First Abu Dhabi Bank. Yeah. So it's a conglomerate of them 3 creating the stablecoin, and we're supporting them with the tech rails and the tech side and so on. And currently we're working together with them in order to launch it as soon as it's ready, and it will happen very soon.
So we will book you for another podcast then. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just saying that very soon you'll see movements at this site, and I'm sure that you'll be able to do this transaction relatively soon.
Maybe you can elaborate a little bit on financial rails. What are financial rails? What are you guys building for these people? Because we touched a little bit upon on what is blockchain technology and why we're building this blockchain. But again, from building this kind of technology to integrating it with like First Abu Dhabi Bank, which is most likely the biggest bank in the region, how you guys build this technology?
Security, scalability, and compliance. Yeah. These are the edges that we are very strongly working on. Yeah. And I think it's a very broad question to answer, but exactly modular blockchain gives the freedom to the use cases to be implemented in secure, scalable, and very compliant way. Whether it's other regions, whether it's this region, whether this is the distribution with First Abu Dhabi Bank of the stablecoin, or whether it's First Abu Dhabi Bank creating the new financial products for the people using the advantages of the stablecoin. We also have cases, for example, like M-Pesa, the biggest payment system in Africa. So M-Pesa does see inevitable transformation towards the Web3 rails and running their operation on stablecoins. Yeah. So it's also part of ADI journey in order to create not only products which are separated and cases which can be separated with the First Abu Dhabi Bank, stablecoin itself, different distribution channels, products, M-Pesa rails, and so on, but in order to unify them into the one huge complementary ecosystem where the people and users and all the participants benefit by interacting with it.
Okay. And maybe, Jen, just to ask you one closely related question. We have, when we learn about stablecoins or digital money, we hear these 3 use cases: stablecoins, deposits, the tokenized deposits or deposit tokens, and then we hear about CBDCs, right? So what is your personal opinion? How does this marriage or coexistence, how does it work? What will be the predominant form of money being used in the future? Maybe for whom as well? Maybe retail will be more stablecoins, CBDC, maybe.
If you would look over to those markets, and historically, if you would look over how the empires were built, how British Empire was the biggest in the world, how US domination came with US dollar. So I think it all comes with inclusivity. So the Web3, the technology, with the mass adoption, meaning that the right user experience for the people's behavior patterns. And stablecoins, this is the unique formula of inclusivity of the asset in order to be indeed scaled and distributed to the mass global usage. So currently we're seeing the transformation adoption of the stablecoins and the blockchain. So I think the stablecoins will supplement the fiat money for sure in very, very nearest future because they are more convenient, more inclusive, easier to operate, easier to be compliant, easier to monitor any suspicious fraud activity, IML, and so on and so forth. Just the organizations that are issuing them, monitoring them, interacting with them, they will need to be technically transformed in their acknowledgement how to operate with the technology in order to cater it to the users. But for the end user, and that's the most important, it's so much easier, convenient, and efficient to use. As well as the banks. Banks are coming to this transformation as well. And that will open up the whole new market for them, creating the new financial products for their audience. So it will be like a first mover advantage. The ones who will implement it first will get that market.
I very much like how you explain it actually, that this technology enables greater transparency, enables compliance, right? Because many times from my colleagues in traditional finance, I hear the opposite. They say, it's all decentralized, it's all anonymous, it's all uncontrollable. And I usually tell them, no, it's not the case actually. It's very much on the opposite. Would you agree as well that this technology gives you greater tools, greater possibility to create a more efficient, safe, and secure system and compliant, as you say?
So blockchain by default is open source technology. Like every transaction, every wallet, everything is on chain and seen. So I think that's the case of perception. So conventional finance, they look on you or on the company or the personality as the counterparty when they monitor the compliance aspect. When it comes to the stablecoin, instead of monitoring the party itself, you can monitor every transaction or every interaction with the particle of the coin. And that all is embedded into one cluster that you can automatically monitor because it's on chain. I do believe, because in my past I have some experience with the compliance and AML systems on chain, that the blockchains are not anonymous. So with the right tooling, with the right frameworks, and it becomes not anonymous. And I think it all goes to less and less privacy, even though those ZK elements, when it's needed in the use cases, which should stay compliant, can give you the upper hand in order to ensure privacy and moderate between privacy and being compliant.
Maybe just last question around the tools and products that you're building, and then I think also we should discuss a little bit about yourself, your background, is because you mentioned the blockchain technology that you're building. You're supporting also as well institutions with launching the stablecoins, digital Dirham. Do you also build then the wallet itself to use these tokens, to use these tools, or do you see this more from your partners, from your ecosystem?
So yeah, first of all, our approach towards the infrastructure, whether it's the wallet or anything other. So the critical infrastructure we are building and supporting to a certain extent, but we're not propagating them to be used as major products from the critical infrastructure. But we are encouraging our builders that need this infrastructure, that we do have very supreme policies on maintaining that the infrastructure always works.
Yes.
And the approach of the foundation is to encourage the builders to come and build wallets, bridges, products, like all the products, we encourage them to come and build on ADI. We're a fully open foundation with fully open network.
And tell us a little bit about your experience. How did you start? What did you study? How you became a top manager? And how this journey brought you to Abu Dhabi?
I'm not a big fan to speak about myself, but
Nobody is.
You can praise yourself a little bit.
I come from the initially marketing background. I have masters in marketing, but I'm Ukrainian with Ukrainian master's degree university, and I started my career, like I would say there have been some engagements, but roughly a little bit more than 10 years ago, when we created the Web3 company that eventually became, over the years, one of the biggest in Europe. It's called Ideasoft. There was a moment in time when we sold part of the company to one of the largest Ukrainian Swedish IT holdings, which is called Sigma Group. In parallel, I think regarding the education,
Yes.
I think I would say that if I would be asked what's my recommendations on the education side of things, I would advise two things from my experience. The biggest inputs I got, I've been in 3 acceleration programs, 3 months each, with the startups that we were building back of the days. It was about the drones made for agriculture with the multispectral cameras, where we've been monitoring crops and soil. And there have been once in Norway for 3 months and twice in New York, also 3 months programs. I think that gave me very good insights on how the startups are built, how the market is evaluated, how ideas and how in reality works the approach to fail fast. That's very important, because you'll have a lot of failures. Any person has a lot of failures.
True.
You need to test really fast with minimum efforts, but with enough to identify whether it works or not. Fail fast and start once again. And the most important, how to gather the team and unify the right people, because the world is built not by individuals, but by the teams that are backing up those individuals. And that's like a unique sauce on the kitchen. Like each one should be unique, but in order to make it tasty, it has to be the unique formula with unique ingredients. Same with the team. You need to get the right people, unify them with the right mission, create the battle plan, and make out of those individuals like the really team that lives with this project, lives with the mission, and they share same values, and all of them are normally very different, but unify them with one thesis.
Okay. Maybe just to ask you, because you mentioned you're originally Ukrainian, but you are in Norway, in New York. In the preparation for the podcast, you mentioned also that you have been in Silicon Valley, as I understand.
Yeah, I lived in many places, but I've built, as I mentioned, this Ideasoft, which became one of the biggest service company in Europe. Also, with partners, we have co-founded the IML company. That's exactly where I have all the expertise on the compliance aspect of the cryptos, and that's why it's, I would say, kind of unique area of expertise when you understand the finance, the compliance, the on-chain compliance, and Web3, and then upon those transformation that happens globally right now to the simplified user experience, to the abstracted blockchain patterns of behavior catered to the users, to the embedded compliance systems natively that you don't interfere too much with the user, don't create complexity with him. So, and this company we also created with the partners, maybe I don't remember, like 2018, 19, and 21 we have sold it to pretty successfully to one of the largest Swiss family offices. And I have had participated as a co-founder historically in a number of projects. One who had a game studio, one who had and still have headless perpetual DEX on multi-chain. It's called Order Network. A couple DeFi projects, and eventually I'm here in Abu Dhabi. Again, it's probably the one of the most right places to be over the next decade, because when you're in the center of innovation, that's totally different than to get something from the news. When something is in the news, it's already too late.
Yeah, it's true.
100%.
Maybe you can explain a little bit for the audience what is Web3, because we are hearing Web3, Web3, Web3. What do you define by yourself to be Web3?
That's also, I think, a pretty complex question.
Yes.
But for me, Web3 is a lot of it comes with the data ownership. So Web 3.0 is the internet where you have the tooling and the right to own your data. And many transformations will be happening again once it all comes to the user experience. Technology first, and then user experience. Even like we discussed today, the financial rails. They will be, again, changing, and they are changing towards this, and they will be completely different in upcoming 2, 3, 4 years. Compliance, medical data, digital identities, geofenced real-world assets, markets will be unified with the right Web3 approach. I think even social media will be heavily transformed using Web3 in next up to 5 years.
Andrey, just to ask you your thoughts about one other very disruptive technology that's coming now, or it's already being implemented in many of the businesses, processes, and that's AI. And we had made many other guests. Always we talk to them and we would say, how much are you using AI? How much are you using crypto? Many from the crypto industry would say, I'm using a lot more AI in the day-to-day life than crypto. So what's your experience using AI in business privately, or how do you see this intersection of crypto AI, or if it even exists? And because, as you say, it's very important to be in the news rather than hearing the news. There's a lot of things happening in the UAE with AI, or more on the infrastructure side. Kind of, what's your vision? What are your thoughts around that?
First of all, what is happening on the infrastructure side in UAE, I think it's amazing. That's, again, one of the catalysts for the growth. You need to establish the baseline. So this is one of the catalysts for the growth. And that's one of the reasons why we're using the ZK proofs, because we are able to run it in UAE sovereign cloud in order to use the GPUs of UAE to embed on the infrastructure level all those two pillars to accelerate and bring speed, velocity, and encryption to all our build-up. So AI said, I wouldn't say that I'm subject matter expert on AI. Whether I could say that
no one is in this panel. Okay, maybe we know a little bit, but
yeah, but I mean, I'm subject matter expert on Web3 topics. Some of them I can speak relatively well. So AI, we do have in our team some specialists that do like amazing stuff with AI. I think that's also comes with the use cases, and a lot of use cases currently in AI are just the buzzwords.
Yes.
But we've seen lots of movements when there are meaningful AI, and blockchain caters you the data sovereignty and inevitability of the data because it's on chain, plus like 24/7 data availability and security. Like all those aspects are eventually powering up AI, because AI stands on data, data clustering, data, like everything related to that. That's why I think these two will coexist in future in any way, because both will be growing, and AI cannot exist without the data. Everything relates to the data, which is the best when it's on-chain, as well as Web3 and blockchain is becoming an inevitable part of our day-to-day living. And I would say probably every person saw that and experiences that AI goes into every aspect of our day-to-day life.
It was very interesting. I read a report recently about OpenAI, who released a very simple description for what is the reason why people use AI, and they also showed a change since they launched it in the end of 2022 up until now. And I think the biggest change or the biggest growth is that today a lot of people talk to OpenAI as you would talk to a mentor, as you would talk to a strategist. And also then it's very interesting is that when you do that, you actually reveal a lot of your private or personal information, right?
Yes.
Imagine I'm asking OpenAI for an advice, I have to provide them the context, which is my personal information, right? So I think in that context as well, containing or keeping safe and secure your private data as you're sharing with an AI could be a very interesting use case on the blockchain Web3 side.
Correct. We have some researchers, even in ADI Foundation, exactly on these topics. So these things come very in line with each other. But also, don't forget that the end user is a human. And I've seen more and more cases when people are like 100% trusting the replies from the ChatGPT.
Yes.
But if you look at it within the dynamics factor, that historically a human's brain always analyzing like different data sources and then tries to identify what's the truth for them.
Yes.
So I think that's really important not to forget when you speak with ChatGPT that the data sovereignty is yet to come.
That's why we have Perplexity, Gemini,
to share information everywhere.
just to make sure that the information is...
You do the cross-checks.
Yes, of course we do the cross-checks. The one thing I wanted to ask about these incubators. I have always been fascinated as well about incubators. So would you suggest someone who is finishing the university to go directly to the incubator? Or would you suggest first gain some experience in the market, whatever he's doing, and then go in the incubator? What is your personal opinion in this?
My personal opinion that you should do when you're young as many mistakes as you can, because you will face always like lots of mistakes, and you just have to do the right conclusion to the consequences to acknowledge them. But accelerator or incubator, first of all, I think that very much depends on the accelerator and incubator.
Yeah.
Normally, it's not university. They don't accept you as a personality. Start your business, do a startup, apply to the accelerators, incubators in early stage of your career. I think, from my experience, this is extremely helpful. But I think that each case is very unique.
Yeah.
And that just helps you to accelerate, let's say, next 100 mistakes that you would do and learn on them and just save a couple years of your time. But choose, again, wisely, with which value proposition, where you're going. It's not only about the accelerator, but relates to everything.
Awesome. And speaking about adapting insights, experience, knowledge, learning from your mistakes, is this a cultural thing that is very different across the countries that you have lived? Or because I was just reflecting, as I said, for instance, I come from Croatia originally, So if you'd say in Croatia, Anton, you should fail fast, do things, iterate. Some people would identify with it, maybe some would not. But I think for many people, they identify this more with US or in particular with Silicon Valley, with New York, of this approach of, let's say, try to do something, let's do it very fast, see if it works, if it doesn't work, and then kind of move forward. Do you find this, from your experience, more universal across different countries that you lived, or is this something that all the entrepreneurs globally should adopt?
I think it's a very good catch, by the way. So I think that originally comes from the peculiarity of US culture, which is awesome. They have this fuck up nights where they tell you tell audience about
Yes.
your fuck ups, and that's absolutely okay and even encouraging to tell about your failures and how you overcome them, which conclusions have you done, and so on and so forth. Lots of cultures, I think I get what you're relating to. They are like completely avoiding the failures, and there it's no cultural peculiarity that like you never fail. There are none of the people never fails, just the one who does nothing. And as we used to say, everything from nothing is still nothing. So
It's a very nice quote.
and the governments, from my point of view, currently are being, again, maybe it's my view, personal, but what I feel, they are transforming to the like a service entity for the person, because people are entrepreneurs, they are living global,
Yeah.
and for them it's just the number of like service interactions with the government when they're choosing which country where they will be living to. So it's only about the people and the communities of people. That's why I think it's more like horizontal, I think.
Yes.
And I always was like encouraging everyone that failures again will be. You should overcome them.
Yes.
Also, I think that sometimes I face also in different cultures that some people are scared to share their ideas with someone.
Okay.
I think that the people who are able to execute, they don't have any spare time. They're busy with their own things. And when that's also what they told you in acceleration programs and in those incubators. If you have an idea, share it with as many people as you can, because that's what your validation comes from. You'll hear different opinions, thoughts, suggestions, and so on. If someone creates it faster than you, that means that you under-delivered, not they overperformed.
I just, as you were saying this, I remembered in Switzerland one time they wanted to invite me for this screw-up night, how you will call it. And after I,
Do they screw up in Switzerland, Anton?
I did, or at least
sure.
it happened, I think failures are normal. And I remember as I was talking to this person and I was explaining, the failures that I had, they told me, Anton, okay, I think you will depress the whole crowd, from all the things that you did, which is normal. Like most of the things you do, they're not success stories. The few things that you do well, those are the things that exponentially bring success. And I think, individuals and people like you, we definitely are needed in the region, definitely needed here in the country to drive entrepreneurial spirit.
I think there's not, like it's only question of your perception, like what is failure. There is this very famous speech of Steve Jobs at Stanford, where he was telling about the failures that eventually, if you're able to connect the dots, then all of them will lead you to the unique formula of going forward. So all those failures are eventually, if you're able to connect the dots, like are just openers for you.
Yeah, maybe failure is in chapter 2 or chapter 3 from the 10 chapters.
Yes.
Correct.
Andrey, I think I'm sure that a lot of people in the audience would very much like to connect with you or connect with your team. So what is on your plan, on your agenda in the next couple of months until the end of the year? Are you doing some events? How can people find you? How do people meet you in person if they want to connect? So can you share a little bit more about that? What are your plans?
I think that the plans are dynamically changing based on the mission in what we're rolling out to the market. That's why there's too much plans with movements, activities, and so on. The next significant milestone will be at Token 2049 in Singapore, beginning of October. There will be a significant part of our team. And if someone wants to connect, I'm excited to speak there. We'll be happy to collaborate, speak, share.
Post Token 2049, anything more on the region? What is your plans?
Actually, we have a lot, but I would love to share it gradually as we're planning with our strategy.
Post Token 2049, what are your plans for the region? And how can people find about you guys, what you're planning? Do you have some social media channels you want to share?
Yes, actually, I would say in that way. All the updates regarding our activity in the region, which we have massive roadmap planned for the execution, will be rolling out gradually over our social media. So please subscribe to we have 2 accounts on Twitter with ADI Foundation, more related to our vision and ecosystem, and ADI chain specifically related to the blockchain. As well as we do have the LinkedIn profile. So in order to be updated, I'm encouraging everyone to subscribe.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Andrey. I think today was really great to have you. Also really a pleasure and great to learn more about the ADI Foundation and your work. You're a very important player and stakeholder for the region and globally. And looking forward to your amazing success. Hopefully we see you more in the media or in person as well. So keep in mind, if you're in Singapore, definitely come to visit you and your team. And it was really a pleasure to have you and also to learn about your entrepreneurial experience. Some really good insights, how you very positively explained the path of an entrepreneur with all the challenges. And over time, you connect the dots, how you said, and understand what was the success story. So it was really a pleasure to have you. A blast. And Demetrios, I'm sure you agree as well.
From my side, I totally agree with Anton. It's very nice to have an entrepreneur on the show, to share the story, to share what is his mission, his vision, where he sees the future. And having you here today has been a blast. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for super interesting conversation. Be in touch.
Awesome. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me. And I hope you enjoyed the show. Subscribe to the channel and have a blast. And next episode coming soon.